Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video. For once I'm drinking water instead of tea. Trying to be more healthy again. I do normally try, but it doesn't always last as long. I was a bit lazy to go to the gym, but mainly it was because of time, and I had some problem with the internet earlier, and also I thought as I got the house to myself and my mum's gone out, although she did invite me to go to the restaurant, I thought I'd stay at home and make a few videos and take that opportunity while I have the house to myself. So basically I thought instead of going to the gym, I'll make these videos. So I've been a bit demotivated in that regard, but hopefully maybe tomorrow I'll go to the gym and stuff like that. So but anyway, this video is, I'll try and get to the point, about Celtic and how I dream for them to be world class and things like that. I was going to say something in the intro, but I had completely forgot to say it, if I can speak properly, sorry. But anyway, it's probably for the best because my videos do go on a bit too much if I go into all the details. But what I was going to say is it's officially summertime here, according to my diary, in the UK, supposedly on the 21st of June. But I was going to say it's been quite cloudy today, so you wouldn't really be able to notice. There was a time when it was really sunny when I was trying to sleep. Ironically, I was thinking just as soon as I tried to use the internet, I was like, oh, please don't let me down, because as soon as I had the house to myself, it was like the internet wasn't working. So it was quite a nightmare. But also as I was trying to sleep, it was quite sunny for once. But typical. But anyway, unfortunately, I've not been too active. I've only gone for a short walk, so I've not been keeping quite up to my plans in terms of keeping fit and stuff like that. But I am drinking water, which apparently is good for losing weight, so hopefully that will help. But yeah, I did plan to go to the gym, but I didn't go to it in the end. So maybe, hopefully tomorrow I'll push myself. I've been planning for a while. So anywho, sorry, I was trying to stop waffling and crack on with the list of my ideas for what I hope will help Celtic to become world class. So here goes. If you can find my videos on Facebook as well, please check them out. I really appreciate it. If you can give me any likes and share the video, I appreciate any support you give me and all that kind of thing. And if you are new to watching these videos and you subscribe to me, please let me know, and I can do it. Return the favor if you want. Or you like my videos, I can do it. Return the favor, or whatever you do for me, I can try and return the favor as best as I can, as I've been talking about recently. Anywho, so I will try and stop waffling and get to the point. Here goes. So number one, I would love to travel to Celtic with Celtic fans from around the world, people who are neurodiverse as well, like dyslexic, people with dyslexia, ADHD, and that kind of thing. And other people who might be able to share ideas for how to benefit Celtic, who would be interested in doing so. I hope I can encourage my fellow neurodiverse, neurodivergent people, special needs, learning disabled people, whatever you want to call us, and possibly organisations like Made by Dyslexia, the Dyslexia Advantage, and others, to showcase what we can do for Italian football and Celtic. And a lot of these ideas I apply could be applied either to Italian football or Celtic. I covered the Italian football version, or I'm covering the Italian football version on Facebook, and the Celtic version on YouTube today, and hopefully I hope to do the opposite next week on Wednesday. But yeah, I'd love to travel, as I say, to work with Celtic around the world, including in Glasgow, where it's based, of course, but even where they have academies, I was going to say bases then, possibly bases, academies or whatnot around the world, and share ideas. Number two, I hope Celtic will look at what they can learn from the past and what they can learn from other club teams and even national teams, perhaps in other sports, and what they can learn from the world, from business, how to fundraise, for instance, how to invite investors to Celtic and talk about what sort of things investors want, how to build long-term growth and things like that, whatever they can learn, maybe even from teams like Real Madrid and teams like that. I think that would be pretty cool. Number three, I would love for them to also have like free footballs for Celtic fans around the world, and use like loss leading marketing, so like giving away free footballs to people across Africa and Asia. And in the longer term, hopefully more people find out about the club, and in the longer term, hopefully that will mean that the club benefits more than it will lose. But in the short term, it will be a loss. So I think they call it loss leading. Not an expert in business, but I think that's what they call it. So yeah, giving away free footballs and merchandise and stuff like that, and also like signed memorabilia. I have a Celtic t-shirt somewhere, so I think it'd be cool if like I get that signed and like auction it off to charity, most importantly, and things like that. So I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, hopefully it'll benefit the club, improve its reputation and things like that around the world, and make more people find out about the club and that kind of thing. Number four, I think it'd be cool if the club could work with as many companies, organizations, and that sort of thing all around the world. Sorry, I can't speak properly. All around the world to look at how they can learn about marketing and stuff. But also like have spaces and places for football people in Glasgow and around the world to develop their skills, which hopefully will benefit the club as hopefully they'll become Celtic players. And if the club can make the best use of their service as footballers and maybe even sell them on in the future or whatever, hopefully it basically will benefit the club as much as possible, having spaces and places for sport, obviously in this case football, and just general things that could benefit local people, especially in Glasgow, which is quite a deprived area in the UK, but also across Scotland and UK and around the world as well. So yeah, as I say, space and places for sport, working with companies and to have as many academies as possible, and also like famous fans, which I hope to come to, and that kind of thing. Number 5, my top dreams for football, soccer for the Americans, calcio for Italians, would be for Italy to become the most successful national team, and also Italian teams to become the most successful club teams would be a close second, and third would be for Celtic to be the most successful Scottish team on record. This coming season, for me, the main priorities would be to win another treble. If Celtic can do that, I think anything Celtic does in Europe, I think is secondary or would be a bonus. With Italian teams, I'm normally the opposite because I support Italian teams generally, so I love to see all possible Italian teams do well in Europe. But I think Celtic win another treble and that kind of thing, and then building on that. So this season, like being in Europe, I think I don't think that should be as important. The money that Celtic could get for doing well domestically could then be used to grow the squad and grow the team for Europe, like season after next or into the future, into the next 5 or 10 years. It might take quite a while for Celtic to do well in Europe. So maybe I think the most important thing is domestic trophies at the moment. I'd love to hear what my fellow Celts, Celtic fans, in other words, think. On that note, I'd love for Celtic to have fans from Celtic countries, from all 8 Celtic countries, as I call them, due to my alliterations, Celtic nations, if you like. But yeah, from Celtic countries, I'll say, and also all around the world, which I hope to come to. Number 6, I hope they'll have a partnership with Italian football and learn from each other and like help each other to whoever invests in Italian football could perhaps invest in Celtic, perhaps, and maybe vice versa, as much as possible. But I'd love for both Italian football teams and Celtic to have as much investment as possible. Number 7, I hope that, I hope that Celtic can continue to grow and do well. In the future, I'd love for Celtic to win a Conference League, the Europa League, or even a Champions League, or even a World Club Cup, if I'm really dreaming, and a Super Cup. I'd love for them to win all those sorts of things in the future, but I think it will take a while for them to win those sorts of events. Maybe even if Celtic doesn't get through the group stages, I suppose the money for getting through the group stages would be a bonus, and would be important to, I don't know how much money you get for getting through the group stages, but I think that, as I say, I think that the most important thing is domestic success at the moment, and then to build on that into Europe in the future and things like that. But in a way, I think it would be beneficial if Celtic could like go to the Conference League instead, so that we have a better chance of winning that, rather than, I think, Champions League, which we're almost certainly, let's face it, not going to win. But I'd love to see Celtic in the future get to that sort of level within the next 2 or 3 years, at least, preferably, in my opinion. Although I'm not the most patient, but yeah, I'd love to see Celtic win those sorts of things like Conference League, Europa League, and even a Champions League, or even a World Club Cup, as I say, and a Super Cup, UEFA Super Cup, and things like that. I think that'd be pretty amazing to see Celtic win those sorts of things and get as much investment possibly to help to do that sort of thing. I think that's important, which I hope to come to again. And number 8, I hope Celtic fans will practice as much as possible with passion to develop. Maybe Celts could get their children to practice as much as possible, encourage them to play as much football as possible and enjoy their football, so that hopefully they can become the best possible footballers for the club. Just like Callum McGregor and Kieran Tierney and people like that. I know obviously Tierney was sold to Arsenal, but obviously they helped to get money. And I know Celtic have a sort of clause when we sell. I always do that speech mark thing, or generally, but yeah, when the club sells a player on, we get a sign-on fee, but or whatever you call it. But I think it would be cool if that was. I'm not sure what the rules or the role is with managers, but I think it would be cool if the club could, so when a manager's sold on, we get like 10% off whatever sell-on fees as well, just like we do with the players. I think that's actually 15%, which is even better. But maybe even 15% for like, or even 20%, or as much as possible, basically, for the more the merrier, as they say, to bring in funds for the club, which hopefully will benefit the club in the future. I also hope people find out about the great anti-racism and anti-prejudice and other such charitable work and positive work Celtic does as part of Football for Good and things like that. So hopefully the club will get rewarded on the pitch as well with like investment and money, more fans, which hopefully bring in more money, which will hopefully help the club to win on the pitch, which for me would be great as an anti-imperialist. Again, I hope to come to that in more details. Number 9, I'd love to see the club have like 5 to 10 year plans and have things like poets, artists, writers, and that kind of thing for Celtic, architects for Celtic and things like that, and have as many groups as possible on Facebook and on social media generally and on websites and things like that. And I'd love to encourage people to go onto like the social media and the website of the club, the official YouTube channel and things like that, and hopefully that will help the club to get even more money again, which will hopefully help the club in the future, because money is important in football nowadays, of course, as with most things in life, I suppose. And number 10, I hope the club will continue to develop youth and famous fans or just general fans of Celtic, which is a point I might cover in more continue to cover over and over again. But I think that it's important. Like, I think it'd be cool if basically all possible Celtic fans, especially celebrity Celtic fans or Celtic fans with money, to invest in like academies, sports clubs and things like donate to the club to have academies and supports clubs and things like that, which will hopefully help to develop the club both in terms of marketing, branding, bringing money in, and also in terms of developing young players for the future. So if they invested, like, say, I think apparently Michael Owen, Wayne Rooney and players like that, or former players like that, are fans of the club. Maybe they could even do coaching for some of the youth for the future, but also they could invest in develop those academies or donate and have their own academies, like the Michael Owen Celtic Academy, the Alan Brazil Celtic Academy and things like that, Wayne Rooney Celtic Academy and things like that, and sports clubs as well. So hopefully that will benefit the club in the future. So anyway, sorry if I did stumble across my words and repeat points as I often do, but I hope people out there enjoyed this video, and if you have any constructive criticism, as ever, please post it so I can improve, and also positive comments will also encourage me, so I hope you will share them and don't hold back any feedback if you'd be so kind. And I'm out. Peace and love.